वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचारूणमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। Good deal. So today is Janvi's birthday. Yay! So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start a little ritual here that our Hindu culture actually explain how to celebrate a birthday. So we will start with Janvi's birthday. So what happens in actually we in Hindu culture, like how we actually usually we cut the cake, right? We blow the candle and we cut the cake. In Hindu culture, we actually light the candle, not blow the candle. And why we do that? There is the fire is the essence of existence. Without fire, there is no existence. That's how we start that's the base of our culture. So we actually light the candles, how old you are, and we light the candle and we celebrate with the lighting the candle means lighting the existence of us as a human, right? So we do that. So we're going to do it with Janvi today. We will light the candles and we will read a slok. So I'm going to pass on to you guys a slok that we're going to read. With each candle that we are lighting, we're going to read a slok.
Are we all lighting candles?
No, just Janvi will light the candle because it's her birthday.
I don't think she can be trusted with flowers.
Can you, Krisha, get the candle for me? Can you pass this around?
Everyone read it.
Yeah, can you pass this around and for
online kids, I'm going to
online kids, the slok that we're going to be doing is going to be no talking among each other, guys. Okay.
Is this mine?
You can put it in your notebook, otherwise we're going to lose the slok. So for online kids, we are actually sharing a link to you guys for the slok that we're going to be reading. Oh, we are sharing the screen of that slok. So if you guys can look at that slok and write it down in your notebook.
I learned this a while ago.
It's in bold.
It's in the bold. That's what we're going to be reading. Okay.
have a few extra.
Like, give it to me back. Krisha, can you bring the candle?
How do I light a candle?
I will help you light it. You are ready?
Yay.
Okay. So guys, can you look at the slok and can you read in yourself first one time so we can read all together? Thank you.
In your mind.
In your mind. Okay. One thing I want to tell you, like while reading the slok, when A has a bar on top of it, it is pronounced as A. And when A doesn't have a bar on it, it is pronounced as A. Oh, so that's the difference when we read the slok. It becomes A and A difference. Okay? So you guys ready? So come on, Janvi, come here. Janvi, come here. Okay, Janvi is turning 9 to turning 8. But she's going in the 9th year, right? So what happens is we actually can't light the candle starting out the 9th year, right? So we actually light the candle. Another thing is different. We light 9 candles because we are actually celebrating that her 9th year, going into the 9th year. We're celebrating that year. We actually asking for blessing for this year, right? That's how it goes. Come on, Jenny.
Okay.
You ready?
I just need to
Okay.
go.
So we're gonna sing the slok first, and then she will light 1 candle, and that's how we're gonna sing it 9 times, and she will light 9 candles. You ready? Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukmev bandhana mrityor mokshayamamritat. Can you hold it? Okay. Light 1 candle. Light 1 candle. Okay, wait. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukmev bandhana mrityor mokshayamamritat. Good job. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukmev bandhana mrityor mokshayamamritat. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukmev bandhana mrityor mokshayamamritat. From the far away. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukmev bandhana mrityor mokshayamamritat. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukmev bandhana mrityor mokshayamamritat. In the middle one, okay? Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukmev bandhana mrityor mokshayamamritat.
So bad.
I will do it. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukmev bandhana mrityor mokshayamamritat. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukmev bandhana mrityor mokshayamamritat. Come on, sit down. Okay. So the mantra is actually asking for blessing from Lord Shiva, saying that Shiv Bhagwan give us this life as a meaningful life and we get a liberation, right? So we are asking for a meaningful life with liberation. So the blessing we are asking from God, okay? So that's what it is. Now let's go back to where we were. Okay, did you do this and ask for God's blessing, right? Okay, so we were actually, where were we? Slok number 31. So let's recite from 21 to 30 and then we will jump on 31. Okay, 21. I will do the page number. Page number, yeah.
84.
I know.
At night, we're already on that page.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Okay, which page number is that? Oh, not for you. 84? Okay, we are on page number 84. You know where we are, right? Ishan, you know where we are?
I think
31.
You can keep it if you have
Is this
it.
the right one? Reciting them at
I thought you meant page.
Chapter. Wonderful, yes. We are actually on 21.
Oh, I thought you said.
Oh, sorry. 21 to
to 30.
21 to 30. We're going to recite and we will start the 31.
Can I?
Yeah, you have to write it in your notebook. Raja. Okay, ready? Slok 21. Veda vinashinam nityam yaena avyavayam katham sa purusha partha kam dasayanti hantikam vasam sijirna niyata vihaya navani gurtyani naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnam yanyani sanyati navani dehi nenam chandanti shastrani nenam dahati padaka jachenam kledayantyapo na shoshayanti maruta अच्छेद्योऽयं मदान्योऽयं अकेद्यो शोषयैव च नित्यं सर्वगतः सारूढ अचलोऽयं सनातनम् अव्यक्तोऽयम् अचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वेनं नानुशोचन्ति मर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यावामन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि जगतस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर्ध्रुवं जन्म मृतुश्च च तस्मात् परिहार्यर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तं माध्यं भारत अव्यक्तानि धनान्यन्यं तत्र का परिदेवनम् आश्चर्यवपश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवद्वदति तथैव चार्य आश्चर्यवच्चेन्नमनया शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित् देहि नित्यं वदेयो देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. Okay. So what did we do so far? We did 29 shlok for like 4 or 5 sessions. Yes.
This is the wrong.
What was it?
It's not the same ones.
The book is not same, Raja. The page might be.
The page, the stroke, it said 21, but it had different words.
Wait,
Maybe
are you
a
looking at
different
chapter 1?
So in the top.
On the top it says the chapter. What is it?
1 point.
3 points. So you were looking at third chapter instead of second chapter.
Chapter and slow.
So if you do chapter 2, okay. You got it, guys? Okay, thank you, Reha, for singing for like so long. The chapter. What happened?
Mine are all done.
Yes, yours are done. Can you guys hear me?
Who's our next?
I'm just that. But here is the thing. Let's revise a little bit, guys. Then we will start with Ansh. So what we talk about what did we talk about for? It's a wonder for everybody, right? That's what we know. For student, it's wonder. What is the wonder? What are we talking about here?
Ourselves.
Ourselves, the real nature. The real nature of us is wonder for everybody. The teacher who teaches has to have certain specific characteristics. The student that comes has to have specific characteristics. And then we talk about that even if we learn it, we know everything about it, still to experience it in real life, it's still a wonder. Nobody can understand. There are very few people whom we know in history can, got that going, and we know about them, right? We talk about Vivekananda Swami, we talk about Mahatma Gandhi, or we talk about Buddha, and all those things we think about that they are, they got the enlightenment. Can we not talk, Raja? Thank you, guys.
72 shlokas.
Right, so we remember that 72 shlok. I'm not kidding this time.
I didn't say anything. They were
Because
talking.
you need to guys have to understand the discipline in the class too. Okay. So what happens is now we talk about those things in 29 shlok. In 30th shlok, Krishna Bhagavan wraps up the whole study of Vedanta. Vedanta means knowing yourself. That study, he said, okay, probably Arjuna is not understanding it, so let's move on to a little lower version of Gyan rather than talking about ourselves, right? So he's wrapping it up. He's saying on the 30th shlok, he said that this embodied self that is in everybody, which is Atma, is eternal, indestructible, right? We already get to know that nobody can, no birth, no death, no harm, nothing happens to the real self of us, right? The self that is in us, the consciousness. And there is no change to it. So Arjun, go fight and don't grieve for any creature. And that's how he stops the topic of saying, what are you, right? So he stopped there, and with 31st shlok, he starts a new one. He changes the track. Now he will talk about how to live, what is the ethical way to live, and what is the sense of honor. So he will just do a couple shloks. Actually, he will do 8 shloks before we go to karma yoga. Karma means your action, what action you should be doing. He actually just from 31 to 38, he talks about a little bit about what the sense of honor you have, like what, just to explain Arjun what should he do. So it is the interlink between Jnana Yoga that we were reading. Jnana Yoga means knowing about ourselves, right? So we were studying about Jnana Yoga. To bring it to Karma Yoga, for 8-9 shlok, he's just going to talk about regular self, what you should be doing, right? So changing track, now we're going to go to shlok number 31. And we will start from there. So, Ansh, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So we will do one part, then everybody repeat, then second part, right? Okay. And then we will do it all together. You hold on. You guys, you got it? Rajaswara, you got it? Okay. Partha, you got that page, right? Okay. Yes, beta.
Okay, carry on.
Can you?
94.
94, Raja.
I know for once.
Is it 31?
Yeah, 31 shlok. You guys have it? Okay, good deal. Come on, let's start.
Swadharmam api chaveksha.
Swadharmam api chavekshya navikampitumarhasi dharmadviyuddhacheyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Together. Swadharmam papichaveksha navikampitumarhasi dharmadviyuddhacheyano kshatriyasya na vidyate. Great. So now Krishna Bhagavan says, and considering your duty also, right? Now he finished that, hey, don't grieve. Now he's saying, even considering your duties, right? You should not waver, because there is no greater fortune for a Kshatriya to fight a righteous war. Okay, so that the whole shlok meaning is this, right? So what he's saying is, forget about your body, yourself and everything. Let's come to your duties, right? So everybody has their duties. So he says, let's come to your duty. Even if we think about your duty, we think that this body is you. You are Arjun in this body. Even with this body, you come with the duties that you have to do, right? And with that duty, even if you look at it, you are Kshatriya, this righteous war, like you are a warrior. Kshatriya means a warrior. So you are a warrior. Even if we look at the duty of a warrior, what you are, it's fortunate for you to get the time in your life to fight a right war, right? The righteous war. The battle that you are going to be fighting. So that's what he is talking about it. Now, what happened, I want to tell you, like, everybody in this earth is born, has a duty. When we think about ourselves as Sonal or as Nishi or as Parthi or as Swara, everybody has their own duties to do, right? Now, how would I know what is my duty, right? That's a big question, right? I am a human, I have some duties and I have to do it. But how would we know what is our duties? In olden, I will tell you how in ancient time, there was a formula given. And I will talk about that formula that was given. Everybody has their duty. But that formula is not relevant at this time. But you should know the basic formula what was given before in ancient time. So there were kind of four varnas were given. Varna means caste. 4 caste was given, and there were 4 stages of life was given, which is ashrama, right? So there were 4 varnas and 4 ashramas was given, right? So varna means 4 caste was given. So everybody belonged to these 4 castes. I will tell you what. And then 4 ashrams was given. Everybody, what stage in the life they were, depending on that, they had some duties to do, right? So we will talk about ashramas first. So first ashrama, we will talk about Varna in the second part. Four ashramas will be ASAH RAM.
Yeah.
It's like asthma, but no.
Okay. So the first one, yes. Sure. Yeah, I know. How about you take this pen? Guys, anybody can rip a paper out from their book and give it to
I'll do it.
she can do it. I think Sia can do right. It's that one. Okay.
I don't know how to.
Okay. So ashrama was brahmacharya.
Doesn't ashram mean where you live?
Yeah. Ashrama is the stage of the life you belong to. Means this stage. So this ashram you belong to. Right? So brahmacharya. I will spell it how internet spells it, okay? So you don't pick my mistakes. Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is a student, right? So when you are in student, so you all belong to this ashram right now. Yeah, stages of life.
We cleared that already. But okay, I just want to make sure the
Okay, so stages of life. So this is you before you get married or till that time. So since you get into school, it starts and it ends when you get married, right? So that's brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is student life. So the whole Veda has all the duties given in the book saying that whoever belongs to this has to do these things. Definitely it's like to gain knowledge, right? So this time is the time frame where you gain knowledge. Nothing about, don't get into social life and all those things comes in this. That's why, in olden days, kids were gone to the ashrama far away from their parents, and they go to ashrama to learn, to get the education. So there is no distraction. There was no Wi-Fi. There was no movies, nothing, right? So they just focus on what? Education, right? That was the, I know, can you imagine that happening?
To get married.
So when they come out, they get married, right? That's how it was, right? So the next stage is Grahastha Ashrama.
What?
Grahastha. I will spell it so you can, G, I cannot write G properly, so
Sounds like a military tactic.
G-R-I, it's it. Grahastha.
A-M-A.
A-S-H-R-M. R-A-M.
Grahast Ashram.
Grahastha Ashram.
Grahast.
That was for householder, and that was for married people. Householder, having kids and, earning money, house. So people belong to this. The rules changes. When you are brahmacharya to grahastha ashram, your rule changes at that time, right? So they became married life.
Married/job.
Job, married, earning, kids, their education, everything comes in. All the social things that you have to do, like your morality towards your towards the social life, right? So that one comes in grahastha ashram. The third one is vanapastha. Yeah, this is the R, okay? Vanapastha
V-A-N-P-R-A.
ashram.
Van, like a van.
V-A-N.
Vanapasthashram.
Wait, can you pronounce it again?
Vanaprastha ashram. Ashram.
Vanprastha Ashram.
Yeah.
Vanprastha Ashram.
That's when people retire, right? So
That's the best stage.
one means forest. In English, if you turn, one is forest. One means forest.
Okay, don't you retire to the forest?
Yeah, and then you go to the forest because that's a forest dwelling. Kind of, if you change this to an English meaning, is forest dwelling. So people get retired and everything, now they take it slow. No more responsibility of kids. No more working. They are retired. They are, now they are
Teach your kids
alone.
how to parent their kids.
That's what I'm going to tell you about it. Right. So why do you want to go, and you already raised your kids, so you need to take a break here and go for your spirituality rather than, but that's how it was, like, right? So I just want to make a difference, because many times in Gita, Krishna Bhagavan also will talk about these 4 ashram and 4 varna, but think about it, connect with now how we can change it. You cannot follow this, because what now, 80-year-old is still working. Right? When is he going to go to one ashram? Right? And 20-year-old made a lot of money on YouTube and got retired. Right? So now you cannot follow these as it when it was like long time ago in ancient India. Like the 4th one is sannyasam. N.
S-A-N-N.
Yeah. Sannyasta ashram.
Wait, is that
Oh, then you become sannyas.
Sannnyas, Sastra. Ashram. Right now in this you give up everything. Yeah, this is like you become monk. You give up everything. There is no connection with the worldly sannyas ashram.
It's like pretty.
If you put it together, it becomes sannyas.
You become sannyas.
What? So this is when you start living a life of monk.
So don't you do that whenever you're tired?
No, you go and you still have a lot of things to learn.
Oh.
So you retired, you slowly start giving up in this, and here you come and then you give up everything.
So this is when you've given up everything?
Yes.
That sounds kind of sad. Like you've given up everything.
I know. Because it's kind of. But when you will look up, and I will give you the answer in a little later version, what is happiness, right? And what is sadness? If we get the difference between it, you will figure it out how it is happy or sad, right? So you guys got it? The 4 ashrams. Let's talk about 4 castes that was given. But we will go really quickly because it's not relevant. A varna.
No,
what?
C-A-S-T-E.
Caste. C-A-S-T-E.
That's what I said.
No, but then that's C-A-S-T-E.
Guys, no talking on that.
C-A-S-T-S-E-S or C-A-S-T-E-S?
That's specific.
Cast.
C-A-S-T-E, I think so. But again, this is not an English class, so I'm not gonna come in that debate.
Cast.
If you're saying cat, then it's no, but that's before the T. Cat. The E is after the T. That's what I said. What was at the end?
Okay, it's time.
Just right, Vern.
Guys, it's not your
How about we go with Varna?
Just right, Vern.
Nishi, can we go with Varna rather than Thank you. Okay, so 4 Varna. So what happens is they were divided into 4: Brahmin, Kshatriya.
Then you have the artists and like normal workers, and then you have slaves.
It was never said slaves. I think people actually converted into
It
saying
was
slaves.
like people who got the worst jobs.
No. Okay. Let's go line by line because there is a lot of confusion.
They did the funeral stuff, right? Like that.
Brahmin were educators, right? They have to educate. They have to make a philosopher. Those were Brahmin, right? The second one was Kshatriya. Kshatriya. Those were warriors. K-S-H-T-R-I-Y-A. So Kshatriyas were warriors, or we can say policemen and stuff like that, who control the society and law and rules. So those were Kshatriya. Brahmin were educator, philosopher, teachers, right? Then the third one was Vaishya.
Wait, Kshatriyas weren't they also kings?
Yeah, king and all this, who control the society rules and regulations. Yeah.
Is that a K?
K, yeah.
Wait, how do you, is that Vashya?
V-A-S-H-Y-A.
Vashya?
Vaishya, yeah.
So like V-A-I-S.
Okay.
V-A-I.
That's Vash.
Vaishya.
Is it? Oh, there's an
This
I.
S-H.
No, what is it?
Kshatriya means the ruler and the fighter who, control the society's rule and regulation. Third one, Vaishya, the businessman who runs the trade. The farmer comes in the trading too, like the farmers and everybody. So who does the trade things, who does the business, all those came in Vaishya. Right? And then the fourth one was Shudra.
Yeah, isn't this considered like the worst class?
There is no worst class, guys. It was never given a worst class. What happened is everybody took it like a bad.
Yeah, I know. There was none, but like people
S-H-U-D-R-A-S. Okay. So Shudra were the labor class that were doing like making all the utilities for people. Like, making shoes, making...
So inventors.
No, they were not. The book is saying wrong thing, guys. They took it that way. That's why they actually studied it wrong. Yes,
Wait,
please.
so does Vaishya or whatever mean workers?
They were actually business people.
Business people and farmers.
Can you get the
What about the medical field?
medical field will come in also, no, not Brahmin, because they are not educated. They will come in Vaishya. Because they are actually labor people who are working for somebody's help, taking care of.
This is what
You're born with
Yeah, no, initially what happened, and I'm going to tell you why it was like that. I will tell you the reason too at that time. Yes. Yes. Who were
established.
they will not work for us. They will make things that the society can run properly. Making clothes, making shoes, making
buildings.
yes.
For state, or is it like inventors?
Is it like
Makers.
yes, they all come in this. Okay guys, can we come back to the subject? So what happened is, at that time they divided, because what happened if I am born in let's say Shudra, right? So my dad is making furnitures, right? So then what happens is I will get those genes of my tendency will be, since I born I saw my dad or my mother to make furniture. So my tendency will go towards making furniture. I will be best at making furniture because it came with me in my genes, right? So then what happened is people started making family business. So people who were born in Shudra continue what their family was doing, right? People who were born in Vaishya, they started doing what their dad and moms were doing. The Kshatriya were belong. So the change in caste was possible, but what happened is your inherent tendency were according to which class you were born. That's why they were divided into 4 classes.
Imagine being born in Shudra.
So if you are born as a Brahmin, you will have to have a knowledge of Vedas, because that's what you are listening since you are born. Your parents are doing the same thing. They are educated. They are teaching everybody that. So then as a kid, you will be educator. Right? So that's how they divided it initially. But again, this doesn't relevant now, because it doesn't matter how, because we have so many inter-caste thing happen that we cannot even differentiate the caste anymore, right? So there are thousands of castes came up, and this was just in India we talk about. Here, we don't even know who belongs to which caste, right?
It's so much easier if you already know.
Yeah, so it was, it was really good formula to put it together. In ancient day, what they used to do is there were like 5 components. When somebody were talking about their duties, what is my duty? There were 5 things that they have to look into and put it in the graph, right? So the first one was which varna they came into, right? So they will put their varna. Okay, I come in, let's take Arjun's example. What varna is he from? Kshatriya, right? So his all duty will be Kshatriya varna duty, which is helping the society, right? Protecting their society. Then, where was he in the stage of his life? Grihastha ashram. So it's a householder, right? So he has to take care of his family and everything, and earn also, right? And make money and everything, and also, so also having, Kshatriya dharma with varna. So first was varna, second was ashrama. Now so make it correct. So first topic was Varna, second this, then third was together, Varna Ashrama.
Wait, these are the topics of what?
When you have to find out what duty you have.
Oh.
So you put how were the steps that you do it in those times. Third, then there was fourth, which was special. It was also known as
Varna Ashram.
Varna Ashram means you put together, then there will be special duty. If you are Kshatriya but you are in one ashram, then your duty changes. So if you put them together, right? Then there was Varna, then Vishesh Varna, Vishesh Dharma.
I'm sorry, what?
Vishesh Dharma. Duty means dharma, right? Let me talk about
Isn't it Vishesh
ESH, which one? This one?
VISHESH.
Okay. V. Vishesh. V. Okay.
Wait, 5 steps for Dharma, right?
Yeah. 5 steps for, your duties. So then Vishesh Dharma. And then the 5th one was Sadharan Dharma.
Does that mean like easy?
Yeah.
Sadha.
Run.
My Hindi is amazing.
Dharma. Okay. I think Ishan has a question. You're raising your hand? You forgot? Oh, okay. If it comes in the mind, tell me again, right?
I just had a question about like the when you have given up everything.
I know. I need to tell you that answer. Don't forget. If I don't tell you by the end of the class, tell me. Ask me again. Yes.
So everyone at one point dies.
If they blow up by themselves, it's okay. We don't blow them.
Your Atma doesn't die.
Okay. So these 5 things, if you put your things into it, like now, what is Vishesh Dharma, right? So if you are Kshatriya, you are householder, there will be also what position you are on. If you are a CEO of the company, if you are a king, then you have a different kind of dharma that you have to follow, different kind of duties you have. If you are a Kshatriya, but you are a soldier in an army, then you have a different kind of special dharma. That's not going to be same as the king, or it will be same as the soldier, right? And the sadharan dharma is just the humanity, right? The morality of the life, that you're going to tell the truth all the time. You're going to, not do hinsa, which is, you're not going to, hinsa is what?
Strong.
Hinsa means
You're not gonna
kill somebody or do something.
Okay, murder. Okay.
You're not gonna do any hinsa to anybody.
Oh, you're not going to harm
Anybody. So those are the ones that are sadharan dharma, right? So you do them.
morals.
Yeah, today morals, right? So those are the ones that you follow, and you put it in this formula. And you get all the duties, right? So you can put everything in this formula, and then that's your duty. You follow it. Yes.
Can you repeat what Vishesh Dharma is?
Oh my God, where have you been?
I'm sorry, no, I was listening.
Vishesh Dharma is like what position are you on? Okay. So if you are a CEO of the company or are you employee of the company, your duty changes, right? Okay. So same way as at June. Now let me go back to Swadharma, right? In this shlok, the first word Krishna Bhagavan says Sadharma. So what he is talking about that, hey buddy, you need to do your swadharma. What is your swa means your own, and dharma means duty. Dharma has a lot of meaning, right? Guys, don't get confused with dharma meaning. Dharma has a meaning of your duty. Dharma is also the rituals that you do is dharma. Dharma is also religion. If you look up the meaning of dharma, it will be like 20,000 meaning will come in the word dharma. It could be your own nature, right? But here he's talking about the duty, right? So dharma means your duty. How are you going to figure out? Now Arjun's duty was what? Varna was what? Kayas.
Oh.
What was his ashrama? Householder, right? What was his special dharma? Vishesh dharma. Vishesh means special, right? So Vishesh dharma was what? He was a king, right? He was from the king, and he is actually being his whole family should be given a kingdom and not given a kingdom and taken it off. So he had some Vishesh dharma to bring righteousness to the world, right? So to fight against these evil. That was his Vishesh karma, right? And Sadharan karma, that he does a good fight rather than anything, doing an evil thing, right? So that was his Sadharan dharma.
And then Krishna convinced him.
Yeah, Krishna convinced him.
Yeah, right? So that's how he's saying when Krishna is talking about Swadharma, right? So what he's saying that, hey, your dharma, Swadharma means your Kshatriya dharma, your Kshatriya duty. If you look at it, you are fortunate to get this opportunity to do a righteous war, right? People were very strong and born in Kshatriya and never got this righteous war to fight. Now you have that opportunity to do it. So he's saying, this is the righteous war, do it and get ready to do it. Now, Swadharma, like this is what I was talking about ancient time, right? Now let's talk about Swadharma, there is another meaning for Swadharma. So we talk about two meanings of dharma. Dharma. First we talk about your duty. Second we will talk about Swabhava. Swabhava will be inner. Yeah.
Wow, you got it right.
Good job. You are reading Hindi or you are watching a lot of Hindi movies?
We used to watch so many Hindi movies.
So many Hindi movies.
Oh, yeah.
I don't watch any.
So inner nature, Swabhava, right? So dharma means duty and Swabhava. Now what I was talking about to you guys, that everybody is born with their Swabhava, right? So if we are just talking about this body, we are not going into our self, our real self, our Atma or nothing. We are talking about me as a Sonal, you as somebody, right? So we are talking about that. Everybody is born with their internal nature, right? You can understand like, hey, my nature, and what does this nature, where does this nature come from?
Your mind.
Your mind, your intellect, your subtle body gives you that nature, right? Your mind and intellect, yes.
What is that?
Inner nature.
Inner nature.
I know, it could be I know. So this,
Not my blood.
or your genetic potential also bring your Swabhava, right? You can, your genetically potential, whatever your genes is, like your mom, dad are, that's how your Swabhava will come to, right? So those are the lot of things that bring the Swabhava. Now that is your tendency that you're born with, right? Like some people are born with the tendency of doing beautiful paintings, right? So that's their Swabhava, that they do it, right? Somebody is born with really good dancing skill, or very good writer, or very good, a businessman, like have a mind to, make money for himself or for others, right? So those ones are already there, right? So those tendency is also your inner nature. Now, everybody should, whenever they think about their own duty, they should think about what their Swabhava is. And this is what I'm talking about right now in this era, right? I'm not talking about ancient time, right? We already spoke about it. But at this time, when we talk about duty, so now think about it. If somebody is really popular, right? Say that one singer that you guys love. Say a name. Who is this? John Phillips. Okay. Sean Phillips or John Phillips? Oh, Shawn Mendes. Shawn Mendes. Okay. Let's talk about Shawn Mendes, right? You guys. I'm like, why is she going so back in the...
I was like, God, this.
Okay. So, okay. Shawn Mendes, right? So think about it, he's so popular, right? How many people look at his life, right? Every single minute. Right? Everybody is there. Now think about it, if this person does bad things, what happens?
We'll just be very disappointed.
Very disappointed. So, right? So what is his Vishesh? What is his Vishesh Dharma?
Hashtag cancel.
What is his Vishesh Dharma? Guys, I already moved on. So you guys have to move on too. Okay. What will be his Vishesh Dharma?
To be a good
That's his Varna, and that his tendency, right? That's his Dharma. What will be his Vishesh Dharma? To be a good role model, right? If he is not a good role model, what's going to happen is it impacts everybody, right? It is impacted to everybody who loves him. Right? So he comes with the responsibility, right? So his Swabhava, inner nature, he is a good singer, right? But it comes with the responsibility. Because he is famous, he cannot just do anything and everything. He has special duty that he has to follow, right? So that's what it is main about. Like when we talk about Swadharma, it is what your inner nature is. You need to make sure you do it. We can take it the other way too. Like if you are really good at math, what you should do?
Do math.
You should become a mathematician. That will help you guys to grow in yourself, right? If you are good at it, so that's where you get to know yourself when you talk about.
What did you get your inner nature from your past life?
It is that all the tendency comes from past life too, right? We talk about it, right? Not two brother and sister at the same house with the same genetic formation came up, but they are totally different. Doesn't that happen?
Yeah.
And why does it happen?
Oh, because of our
Past lives, right? So past life we get different natures because we are coming with the tendency. We are coming with that subtle body that we talk about. You remember we talk about subtle body, how it keeps going on, move on to the next body, and that's where the subtle body, our tendency keep coming, right?
Tendency.
Tendency is our behavior,
tend to do.
right? So like your tendency right now, if I say your tendency is you are sitting on the floor, so come on the blanket, your tendency will change right there. Okay, sit properly. So you got that part. So this is how we go. So if somebody will ask you about your duty, you need to know what your inner behavior is, and then according to that you can do your
Future job.
your duties and your duties also, your responsibility, right? Well, there was a in Spider-Man he says that what big
With great power
big
comes great
great
That was Spider-Man?
yeah, with great powers come the great
Oh, I
responsibility.
thought you were talking about like Far From Home and stuff, but like he never said anything that great.
No,
From
no.
the original Tobey Maguire.
Okay, that makes sense.
It was with great responsibility,
Great power.
great power, great responsibilities come.
With great responsibility comes
Great power. No, it's the other side.
No.
Okay.
I know if it works. Like,
Okay, so what happened is now Krishna Bhagavan is playing very intelligently here. What he is doing is whatever Arjun said in chapter 1, he is answering him back in these nine shloks. Like, if you look at chapter number 1 and 29 slok, he talk about, I am actually, where is 29 slok? I will tell you what word he used it there. Okay, he said, Vepashyasya sharire me romarshishcha jayate. He talks about that, thinking about it is I'm trembling. Now Krishna Bhagavan is saying, don't tremble because you do your swadharma. So he's using the same word that Arjun used, and you will see many times in these slok, he will use the same word as Arjun used, but in a different aspect. Now, you know what Arjun is doing wrong, and when he was talking about it, about not fighting, what he said is, he was talking about, his mindset was, what was his mental makeup? Saying that, I'm not going to fight because I was fighting because they did evil to me, right? He was using little I for himself and saying he did it for me, they did wrong to me and my family, that's why I'm going to be fighting for that, right? So that's what his mindset is, that he is taking revenge, right? Now Krishna Bhagavan is actually changing his mindset. What he is changing it to, do it for your duty, not for your selfish. I know that he is not if you look at it, he is not doing it for selfish, but if you think about it, he was doing it. He was just doing it for taking revenge. So what Krishna Bhagavan is telling him in this slok, saying, do not make it for the revenge. Make it for the duty, because you're going to be fighting against these evil people. You are actually working towards supporting your community or protecting your community. You are Kshatriya and you are householder. Your duty is to protect your community. And by fighting this, you are protecting your community. So don't put your selfish thing into it. Right? So Vivekananda Swami said that unselfish is in long run, it is more paying than being selfish. The person has to be mature enough to understand this. Right? So unselfishness in a long run will pay you a lot more than being selfish and gaining something at that time. Right? So that's how Krishna Bhagavan is changing his mindset, his prospect on this fight. Don't do it just because you are selfish. I want to win it because I want to take a revenge. Don't think like that. Do think like that. This is my duty for other people. That's why I'm going to do it. Yes.
Before class ends, can you please tell me?
Yes. I will. Is it time to class end?
It's
Oh my
4:55.
5 minutes.
Okay.
But we have to do the prayers at the end.
Yes, and I will tell you. How about we do really quickly one more shlok and then we will end it. And I will tell you in this shlok, probably I will explain your happiness part and sadness. Okay. You ready? We will go to 32 shlok. Ready? Okay. Yadrikshaya chopapanam Swargadvaram apavrutam Sukhina Kshatriya Partha Labante Yuddhamidrisham. Together. Yajrikya chopapannam Swarge dwaram apavrutam Sukhina Kshatriya Partha Labhante Yuddhamidrisham. It's a happy, O Parth, Kshatriya is who gets opportunity to fight a righteous war, such a battle, which is an open gateway to heaven. So he is repeating himself, but he is saying the same word that Arjun said. Hey, how I am going to be happy? And he said, Kshatriya, as a Kshatriya will only be happy when they get their duty, or they get to fight a war of righteous. And he says that this way the heaven will be open. Where he said earlier on, he said heaven will be closed on me because I'm going to be doing a sin, right? So that's what Arjun said, and now he is answering him back. Happy indeed that Kshatriya is who get an opportunity to fight a war of righteous, right? So he talks about that. I will give you quickly answer to his question about happiness and sadness, right? I will then we will close the class. So you know what we talk about happiness? Were you in the class when we talk about why? Let me actually. What is happiness for everybody? Did we talk about it? Were you in the class when we talk about it?
I don't know.
Okay, you don't remember? I will tell you something. You know, anybody remember? Anybody know about Martin Seligman?
No.
No? Okay. Yes.
Not about him, but you can remember.
Oh, Krisha did low battery ka banta.
10%.
Thank you, bacha. Shawanu.
10%.
Okay. So, Martin is a philosopher. Actually, he is actually a philosopher right now. I don't know if he is still there or not, but he did research on happiness, and he has a good formula. He put it up, and he has a lot of questionnaire that you can take online and figure it out how happy you are.
I already know.
And
I took one. I
Yes.
got like 2%.
But I'm sure, you know, if you do it, you are unhappy more after doing it than before you were.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And then you find out how happy you actually are.
I know, yeah.
Unless you
So
get
in that,
100%.
okay, so let me tell you about this. So Martin Seligman had this formula of happiness, and I'm going to talk about happiness and sadness, what you were asking me. So happiness, we talk about it that happiness is what?
Temporary.
Temporary, but we talk about the everlasting happiness. What did we talk about?
Moksha. Freedom.
Right? Freedom. Freedom was the ultimate happiness. So happiness in this, that was actually in Hindu Dharma, and we talk about moksha and everything. Martin doesn't know about moksha, right? So he actually formulated happiness. And his formulation says P plus E plus, yeah,
Not my bag.
yeah, E plus M. Now what does that mean? Right? So that's what it is. That's what he puts. So happiness is equal to P plus E plus M. Now who's going to tell about P? So whenever we think about happiness, right? The first thing we go to is what? Pleasure. First thing we go to pleasure, right? So when we need happiness, oh, let me eat a cookie, right? And get a happy. So first thing we go to is the pleasure. Pleasure gives a happiness. Pleasure will give you a happiness. It's no harm. But what kind of happiness it will give? Very momentarily, right?
Like 2 seconds.
After, as soon as the cookie goes in and finishes, the happiness goes away, right? It is very temporary. It's never everlasting, right? So this is the happiness that would you like that happiness? So when we are young, when we are kid, this is what the happiness is, right? The toy we get, the new gadget we get, the new game we start playing, all these are happiness for us. That's why we do this kind of pleasure, right? Then he talk about what E stands for.
Everlasting.
No.
Everything.
Eternal. And England.
Engagement.
Wait. Oh, for engagement.
Engagement in anything that you do, right?
Oh, like hands on.
So what? No. Here is the thing. Yeah, good. It's on too. It's a one term of it. But here is the thing, right? When you are engaged in doing something, then you are more happier than just doing it. So, what is the difference between pleasure and engagement? Pleasure is sitting on the couch and watching a game. Engagement is you playing the game.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the difference between pleasure and engagement. Right? You got it? Watching TV, sitting on the couch is pleasure. Playing the game, though it's not always, it's a hard work, right? When you're playing a game, it's not always pleasure, it's not always happiness, there is some hard work too, but it's more satisfaction, right? So then that's the second. So this is least happiness that brings. Engagement brings a little more happiness, right? No. So then, what is the engagement? Engagement is also not everlasting because the work ends. Our hobby, like even if you don't have a career with what you like, you have hobbies, right? You do that. So those are engagement, right? But then what happens is you burn out, right? If you keep doing the same thing, you will burn out. So then the happiness doesn't last ever, right? Now he talk about M.
Memories.
It's not memories.
It's
not
meaning.
It's not memories.
Memories.
Meaning.
Memories.
It's meaning. See, I guess it. It's meaningfulness.
Meaningful. Life.
Meaningful life.
Meaningful life.
Making a job, like giving to others.
Like,
What is it?
Like, doesn't it be meaningful as in like working for someone else?
Someone else, yes. So meaningful life is when you make somebody else happy. That gives you the most happiness in the world, right? So when you go from PEM, P is the least happiness, and E is the little more happiness, and then the meaningful life is the most happiness. So when you talk about it, that's what you are looking for. You remember Janvi?
Plus, that means all of them?
No, I think he said plus, but reading it, I feel like you have to take this out, and go with this. That's the most happiness you will get because these are very temporary. It's not going to last ever, right? So this one is the one that's going to last forever, and that's where it comes in. So meaningful life. When Janvi was asking for blessing, I said God gave her a meaningful life. That's what we should be asking because that's the most happiness we get is with the meaningful life. Next session we will talk about what is meaningful life. Okay, you guys come up with all your ideas.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Meaningful life. A life that means something.
Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Charunamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Para Brahma Tasmai Shri Guru Namah. Oh, so I was saying